Looks like we are live. My kids were in here just a second ago, or they're still in here, but a second ago before we went live, and they were mimicking me what I was going to say. So I'm going to say something different. Maybe I'm not. Is this thing on? What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff Kiesel Guitars, here for my live weekly Q&A. Yes, it's not Wednesday, it is Thursday. I had a wedding to attend yesterday. So I was at a wedding. One of my cousins got married. So happy for him, so happy for them, such great people. So that was really cool. I'd never been to a wedding on a weekday. I don't know if that's like a new thing or what, but anyhow, a great venue, we had a great time. I do have a sinus infection, so I'm gonna do the best I can to talk. I have some cough drops here and of course my water. So if you hear me like clearing my throat a lot, those of you guys that have had sinus infections, you know what a bummer they are. And I think the worst thing about a sinus infection is it's very, very, very hard to sleep. So I think between my sinus infection, you know, kind of ramping up big time last night, and then the Amazon guy showing up at 4:14 a.m. this morning, I think I got about 3 hours of sleep. So my battery is pretty empty. I'm gonna probably go home right after this. I wanted to actually go home early, but I did stick it out for you guys because I already, missed yesterday because of the wedding, and I didn't want to cut out for the live. So I wanted to be here for you guys. So I think I'm gonna go home and go to sleep. I got the movies tonight. Gonna see the new Indiana Jones. I love Harrison Ford, of course. Han Solo, my man. People are like, that's Han Solo? That's the guy in Indiana Jones. Yes, it is. So today I have two deals of the live. So I'm going to show those off first. I'm going to show a customer guitar. Both of my deals are swirls. So this guy right here, this is Zeus with a trim. It has gold, I think, jumbo frets. Let's see here. It's a 24 3/4 scale, jumbo frets, mahogany neck and body. It's been tongue oiled. It's got a 20-inch fretboard radius. I'm going to let this one go for $2,300. I know a lot of you guys were like bummed you missed out on the swirls. This was a one-time shot. We did the swirl run, and it oversold, actually. We did end up building a few that I just wanted to spec out and whatnot. So I did end up building a couple extras. Anyhow, this one's up for grabs at $2,300. So if you want it, you call my guys, 858 Guitars. Keep in mind, I'm not offering this again. It's not something you can call in and get a swirl. This was the example swirl of the blue, purple, and silver. This is a HD, a headless Delos. I'm letting this one go for $1,900. Fixed bridge, 25.5-inch scale, HSS. It has my dad's single coils in it, which definitely ramps the price way up. Both guitars are one hell of a deal. So if you want to take advantage of my deals of the live and grab these amazing guitars, you can grab, one or grab both of them. So $1,900, $2,300 takes them. Let's see who we have here. This is for Nicholas. You guys can be like Nicholas and get an amazing swirl. I did have a lot of fun doing these. I'm not going to lie. At times they were very frustrating. But I did have a lot of fun. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into these. I do them all myself. And we did close to, well, just for the run, we did about 60 of them. But prior to that, I did examples, and I had to, learn. I had to teach myself how to do this. So it was a long process. I think I've swirled at this point probably just shy of 200 guitars now, total. Between testing and then cleaning them off and trying again, and it was a lot of work. I mean, they came out great. There was a more simpler method I could have used that's pretty straightforward, but I felt like the colors were lacking in depth and vibrance. And man, you guys know what we're all about. We're all about bringing it and bringing you guys the best looking guitars. I feel like our finishes, there's just no one out there that is rivaling us in the finish department. And having said that, I don't mean there's no one else that has cooler, in your opinion, finishes, but I'm talking about from the standpoint of the quality, the clarity, the sheer amount of options that we offer. I don't think there's anybody that can really, kind of hold the candle to what we do in the sheer size. 4,000 guitars that you have the ability to, 4,000 a year, that you have the ability to really, go mild to wild, and the quality of the finishes. And we're constantly evolving and changing and adding stuff. And anyway, so we're very cool. Like I said, a lot of fun to do, a lot of work. But why don't I talk less and answer more questions, because it'll help save my, it's not really my throat that hurts. It's like above your throat, like throat, nasal passageways, not to be gross, but I'll talk less, answer more questions. How about that? What do you guys want to know? Oh, I got the door creaking in like a creep show episode. What's up, Flock?
Enrico wants to grab the Zeus.
Enrico is grabbing the Zeus.
Good buyer of ours.
Awesome, brother. Well, Enrico, thank you so much, Flock. I'm going to hand it off to you. Yeah. That way I can prop this up. Enrico, I'm going to hold it up one more time. So this deal of the live is going to Enrico. Thank you, brother. There's Flock getting in. So we'll put the second deal of the live that is still up, $1,900. You can grab that one. Sometimes that's how fast the deals of the live go. We can put them up and they're gone right away. So if you missed the Zeus and you were like, damn it, I should have called in, you still have an opportunity. Headless, Strat style guitar. It's going to be very familiar for you. If it's your first headless, this is the one I recommend for people that have grown up playing more traditional instruments. So you're in luck. We still got you covered. And what do you guys want to know? It's your opportunity to ask me whatever you want to know.
Can you do a crackle finish over antique ash treatment in raw tone?
The raw tone is a no, but yes, we can do crackle finish over antique ash. It looks really cool. We've done it actually quite a bit.
Can we send in our guitars for servicing? Love my hyperdrive, and I'm super excited to get my next build started.
Absolutely. It depends on what service you're wanting. I mean, if you're wanting us to swap pickups or something like that, that's not something we would do. But if it's in need of service, like just a general setup or, a fret job or something like that, absolutely. Just call my guys and, get to the service department and they'll take care of you.
When can I buy a Steph Carpenter model?
Oh, dang. Well, there is no such thing. There is no such thing as a Steph Carpenter model. So, maybe in the future that will be a thing. That's a pretty new announcement. Steph's been playing our guitars. He loves the Vader. He has quite a few of our guitars at this point. But I think he has 6 Vaders. And he has some other models too, like the Aries. What else does he have? Is that it? Maybe? No, he's got to have more than that too.
Did you already say Vader?
Yeah, I did say Vader.
What was it?
DC
700. That's another one.
I just got an Empyrean, and it's the best neck pickup I've ever heard. On an 8-string, would you go with a thorium to pair with it, or stick with the lithium that's already there?
That's awesome. That's great to hear. On any string count, 6, 7, or 8, I would always pair a thorium with an Empyrean. The thorium came first, and that was what Scott was playing, and the lithium neck pickup wasn't keeping up for his style with the thorium bridge. So we created the Empyrean for Scott to pair with the thorium bridge. So I feel like if you really like that Empyrean, you're going to love the thorium bridge pickup.
If my guitar is being built with poplar burl top and crimson red finish, who does the finish?
The finish will be done by Casey. It's our head painter here.
What colors can you get in candy finish? Have you ever done satin candy?
I have done satin. Yeah, satin is cool. I would say satin looks really good on these guys, like swirls. And there's some other things that satin looks really good on. Candy, in my opinion, is not one of those. I would keep it glossed for sure to really show the depth. You can get a lot of different colors of candy. Those of you guys that logged in late, I'm battling a sinus infection, so if you hear me coughing, struggling, eyes watering up and getting red, even Zach was like, why are your eyes so red? I'm not stoned. I wish that would be the case versus having a sinus infection. Sinus infections suck.
Sure. I am very close to pulling the trigger on build number 4. What Arctic colors or fades do you think look best on poplar burl and burled maple?
That's awesome. Thank you, by the way. So poplar burl, if it's a fade by me, I wouldn't recommend a fade by me. Actually, I wouldn't do a fade by me on poplar burl or on burl maple. As far as looking at Arctic, Arctic finishes, in my opinion, still look the best on flame maple, although poplar does look really good. I don't recommend it on burl maple. So I'd either go flame or poplar with an Arctic.
What happens after someone presses the order button? Does the order sheet get printed out and then put in a pile until someone goes and grabs it?
So basically in the morning when, depending on what time of day you place the order, first thing in the morning, orders are downloaded, and throughout the day they're downloaded, and they're inputted into the system. And so at that point, we generate what's called a tag. So the tag will show all the build information. So we have different columns on the tag. So, damn it. Sorry guys, I'm gonna try here. So they're color coordinated, and they're in columns according to what department needs to read that particular set of options. And it tells us how to build the guitar. What's up, baby?
I'm back.
You got the other one sold?
Instagram, yeah.
Sweet.
Matthew Gambin, my boy.
Matthew, right on.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thanks, brother. I'm going to hang on to this one here.
Good.
But so both the deals of the live are sold. Let's turn this guy around. You guys can see that beautiful swirl pattern on the back there, giving you guys something great to look at.
Any chances of binding being available?
No, I mean, in the sense that binding as far as an actual third piece, no. We do binding effect, but actual binding we don't do. I'm sorry.
Why is trans white non-returnable?
It's a good question. So what happens is with trans white is it masks the wood so much. So the flame, the quilt, whatever you're putting underneath, it's harder to see with trans white than any other color. And so if we're going to pick out a lighter in color top and go through all the process and then paint it trans white to hide some of the actual wood grain underneath, we're going to make it non-returnable because it's harder for us to resell. That's also the case with translucent purple, which I do want to make a no return color in the future, because when you get it on flame or quilt, it hides so much of the flame or quilt that it's very hard to see. And so it's harder for us to resell because taking a photo of it, you just can't do a good enough job showing it off. That'd be one thing to add to the list, Brandon, like a list of colors that we're going to make non-returnable. So like walnut bodies, I want to make non-returnable because they just add so much weight. And then translucent purple over any exotic top should be no return also.
I love my Zeus. Which headless model would you recommend for a 7-string?
That's awesome. Yeah, the Zeus is a great one. Really all of them are going to be amazing guitars. I mean, it just depends on what you're going for. Are you going for a look? Are you going for a feel? What is your use of the guitar, I would ask. If you're primarily writing in a studio, that's going to be a different build than, you're playing on stage and you're looking for some attention. So I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, we have such a diverse selection. And now that you have a Zeus, I would encourage you to take a look at our double cuts, like check out a Vader or an Osiris. Those are some really rad guitars.
Joe Brooks is wondering, have you ever done a candy color but Arctic style finish, like blue to aqua candy flame with Arctic sides?
Joe, I can't remember doing that, man. Not to pop a cough drop. Sorry, everybody.
What are the differences between covered and uncovered pickups?
So besides the aesthetic, those are not covered. You could see covered back here. Besides the aesthetic, you do get a little bit different tone because there is a cover over the actual pickup itself, part of the pickup at least, some of the pole pieces are exposed. It does mellow the pickup out a little bit. It knocks the high end frequency down just a touch, and some people really like that. Uh-oh.
Have you ever slept at the factory?
I don't know. I mean, overnight, I don't think overnight have I ever dozed off. Maybe. I don't know. I definitely felt like laying down and taking a nap earlier. And even Kayla was like, just lay down and take a nap. Brandon was like, lay down and take a nap. They picked me up lunch and like, you don't look good. Lay down and take a nap. Like, I'm thinking about going home. Like, literally, you guys are the only reason why I stayed. You know, I do want to do these lives, and I do care about the interaction with you guys. So it is important to me, you know. So anyway.
Could we change the woods on the Sophie Lloyd? I love the specs and love the color. Just wondering how much we can alter.
By calling in, you can alter a lot. When it's online, we have to kind of default to really what she wants. And then we can, if you call in, we have the ability to alter a lot, but it will make it your guitar, meaning it's non-returnable. Because she's told us, do you think I was answering you?
No.
Oh. Oh, okay. Kayla's over there laying down. Maybe she was falling asleep. Anyway, yeah, when you alter what the artist has set aside for their model, they're willing to allow you to do that, but they want you to keep it. They don't want us getting it back because it's going to be harder for us to resell.
What is a deep finish compared to the regular trans finishes, and what is the upcharge for that?
So all of the deep, so back in the day, we used to have the ability to pay extra to get the finishes deeped. What deep is it's a process to really enhance the grain. What I did is I said, you know what? I don't want to charge people for this. I want them all to look deep. I want them all to look badass. So we took away the charge. That was a $50 charge. We stopped charging you guys for that. And still to this day, we haven't raised our prices to compensate for the deep that you're getting included in all of your translucent finishes. So some translucent finishes are deeped with different colors and others are deep with darker colors, you know, lighter or darker. So it just depends on what color you're getting. We're going to pair it up with the right triple step to really enhance the actual color that's going on top of it.
Are Dunlop strap locks still on back order?
I have no idea.
Okay. My HD picked up on May 12th has not been put down. Great job on the entire build. Keep up the excellent work.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that feedback. That's the thing. I mean, a lot of you guys know that, and those of you that are following us, supporting us, especially since we've been Kiesel, you know what our business is. You know, our goal is to build the best guitar at any price point. You know, not looking at the price that we're selling it for. I never look at that. My goal is to build you guys the best. And, you know, we want you to be happy. You know, we want to accommodate you, obviously within reason. And, you know, of course, we want it to be reciprocated. You know, we want this mutually awesome relationship. So I want to treat you guys, and I want my guys to treat you guys the way we would want to be treated ourselves. So, you know, as being a customer, even a customer myself, I've been out of line before being a customer and been like, kind of like a baby before. And, you know, then you kind of step back from the situation. You're like, yeah, I could have handled that different. And so, you know, it's all about that relationship. You know, what you put out is what you're going to get back in. You know, you're cool when you call up. There's a problem. There's, you know, I mean, we're human. We make mistakes too. But when you're cool when you call up, it's just going to go a lot further. You know, I mean, you're going to get to the end result in a lot better situation than if you call up and you're a dick about it. You know, I mean, let's just call it what it is. And so I always try to be cool, you know, when I'm dealing with people, when I'm on the other end of that, the problem that happened. And anyway, and like I try to tell people, like, look, I'm I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at the situation. So if like I sound like I'm mad, I am mad, but I'm not mad at you. So help. So just, remember that when you're calling my guys, they have a family, they go home, they have feelings too, so be cool to them, because I want to protect my family best I can, so if people are calling in here and, being outlandish, and just being rude, I'm going to sever that relationship. I'm just going to say, okay, well, this is how you want to act, whether, you're in the right or wrong for the situation, there's a way to act. And so sometimes we just go, that's it. You can go deal with someone else's problem. Go deal with someone else. Here's your money back. Like, we're not the right fit for you. And so we have to do that a few times a year. I would say maybe 2 to 4 times a year. We have to let a customer know we're not the place for you. And that always sucks. We never want to do that. I mean, our goal is to make people happy, but obviously we can't make 100% of the people happy 100% of the time. And I'm okay with that. I feel like we're doing a really great job, sales and service wise, and I'm just happy with the product we're putting out and staying down to earth and keeping the focus on doing the 4,000 guitars and not letting that, that, not greed, but let it run away and go, oh, we could do 5,000, we could do 6,000. I'm not trying to do that, So I feel like we're being really level-headed on that one. I don't know why I went off on that, but anyway.
Do you have any races coming up?
I do. I'm actually, we're going to be going to Washington State pretty soon.
How would you describe the color of the pink KTB? Does it clash with the pink to purple fade color-wise, or does it clash with the hot pink color?
So it depends on what color wood you put it on. So meaning if you put it on a flame piece or you put it on a bird's eye piece, they can look different themselves. Flame can tend to look a little darker because it tends to really grab more of the finish of the KTB. So they can tend to look darker. Whereas bird's eye doesn't look as dark because it's a little harder wood. And then it depends again on the piece of wood. We could have a piece of wood we get that's really white looking, that's gonna be a brighter pink. If the piece of wood has more caramel colored or tan colored in it, it's gonna look darker. The way you get something that looks closer to one of our fades is you have me do the fade and me do the fretboard. If you have Casey do the fade, that's a totally different process, and that's not gonna match the fretboard as good. But I would recommend, if you want them to match, have me do both. Have me do the board and the body. That's going to be more expensive. You're looking at $400 for one of my fades versus Casey's at $50. So again, Casey's production does an amazing job. Best painter we've ever had by far. And my time is more limited. And so I have to keep my rates where they are, because when I'm out in the shop too much, the company loses money. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I have to create new things, new ideas, new finishes, working with new artists. Yeah, I have a huge staff here to help me, but, I still have to kind of spearhead a lot of that. And so when I'm out in the shop too much, the company actually loses more money by me being out in the shop than by me being at my desk, I would say.
Are there any colors that you wouldn't try to match with another color?
I don't know what that even means. Any colors to try to match with another color? What do you mean?
Like 2 colors, like pink and, say, orange, KRO or something.
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of colors I wouldn't pair together. I mean, I would, I'd pair like colors. That's a really hard question, man. I'm sorry.
If I send in my own pickups, will I get the credit back that the amount the stock pickups would have cost?
No, you actually pay more. So what happens is when you send your own pickups in, we're going to charge you $50 to handle the pickups, put them with the guitar when the guitar is ready, and then install them. A lot of times you have to look up wiring and figure out how to do it. It takes us more time. So I know it sounds like, oh, you're not putting your pickups in, so that's going to save money. Well, what is the most expensive thing? Time. Time is the most expensive thing for us, because it's not how much is that person making in that time frame, it's how much could we be doing to make money in that time frame. And so that's really the biggest problem is time. And, that's what we don't have, an excess of. So to do things that take the shop more time, we charge more for that. So it's actually a $50 upcharge, and it does make the build non-returnable if you do that. We do that a lot, actually. Not nearly as much as we used to, since we've really developed our pickups and have made a name for ourselves with pickups.
This is going to be the last question. I recently got an Aries and was blown away with how comfortable it was. What headless model would be the closest to the Aries? I'm looking at the Osiris.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, if you got a bolt-on Aries, the closest that you could buy would be the Osiris for sure, hands down. If you got a neck-through Aries, I would look at the Vader, because you're used to more of that access from being a neck-through. And I feel like that's such an important thing that people get used to, is how the back of the neck feels. If you guys haven't played a Vader, it's still, I'd have to say it's still my favorite. I love the HK, the Headless K series, but it's a guitar that is up there in price. You're looking at the $3,800 range starting price, which is an amazing value for what you get, but that's not what everybody's gonna buy. We don't sell a ton of Ks and HKs. Those are our kind of our more expensive, higher end guitars. But the Vader, I would definitely be looking at a Vader. I feel like, and that for me was the guitar that made me fall in love with headless guitars. It is such a comfortable guitar. Obviously I'm looking behind me, but there wouldn't be a Vader hanging on the wall. That's how much sleep I got. You don't have a Vader over there, do you? Savannah, do you have a Vader? In your cart? Do you have a cart over there? You do have a Vader?
I do.
Zach, can you grab that Vader from her? You want to hand that to me? Here, bring that over here. This is why I love the Vader. Just sit there like that. I'm hanging out. The guitar just chills. I'm sitting there watching TV, remote, nice and compact. My shoulders are here, right? So I'm barely sticking out. So if you're sitting on the couch, you could sit here for hours and hours and hours. And because of the design, like my legs are both, you maybe can't see this, they're both even. Like I don't have to prop one leg way up. They're both totally even, and the guitar just sits there. That's it. That is what the Vader was designed for. So the very first one I made for myself to sit on my couch and just play. And then people loved the guitar, and we turned it into an actual thing. And this is what made me fall in love with headless guitars. The original headless, for me, I didn't have to put a strap and like stand up, or like a lot of guitars they're very odd. Headless guitars can be very odd. And this thing was awesome. And so that for me was just such a big deal. So, if you're like me and you want to sit there and just practice quietly while watching some TV and not really bother anybody, I feel like this could actually make you a better player, because it could allow you to practice more. And there's so many people, and if I could never tell you, but if I could tell you the names of the people out there that have big signature artists with other companies that have these exact guitars, these Vaders, that they're on their tour bus. They're in their bedroom. They're sitting there, laying there in bed, or they're in bed with their partner, and they're just noodling on the guitar. And it literally is helping them stay sharp, keeping their chops. And they're with other brands, and a lot of times there's a lot of money involved to keep them on these other brands. And these people are buying these from me to keep up on their practicing. So I think the Vader's a big deal, and I don't think I talk about the Vader enough. So I definitely recommend this guitar. And damn, how can you go wrong? It's a Vader. And on that note, I made it through with my sinus infection. So if you're wondering why I look a little crazy and sound a little off, I am crazy, but I do have a sinus infection going. So on that note, I won't see you guys till after the 4th. I want you guys to have an awesome, safe, amazing 4th of July. Of course, as always, please be responsible. When it comes to getting behind the wheel, don't do it. If you've been drinking, get that Uber, get that Lyft, spend the night somewhere, arrange a DD, whatever you need to do, because damn, we don't need to lose any more awesome people. Life is hard enough, and think of everybody else too when you're, boozing it up. Just don't get behind the wheel. That's the big one. Don't get on one of those scooters either, like those birds or whatever. Dang, man, people die from that, So just because it's not a car, you hit concrete just wrong, you could die. Sorry to be so grim, but I just, I care about all you guys, and I want to make sure you guys are all safe and with us. So on that note, I'm out. Later.